Yo, what's up guys, Lightwater here. I just want to make a quick video to say that I fucked up a little bit. Since then I've made the changes on the Google document, but I was informed by a good friend of mine that there's a thing called square root scaling. Who knew? I for sure didn't. I have ran into this a couple times with spells I've tested, and I just thought, oh, maybe it's just this spell. But it turns out square root scaling is in quite a few things, and apparently it's a different equation that Blizzard can sort of pull on to limit AoE healing. Who knew? It's not intuitive in the slightest, but what they assign it to is also confusing, and how exactly it's dealt out is kind of also confusing. So, but with help of a friend, I was able to change some of these. So this is basically, it's 3 spells, right? So your Holy Nova got hit, your Halo got hit, and your Divine Star also got capped. Divine Star and Halo are capped at around 6 targets, so they'll do 6 targets worth of healing divided amongst, let's assume you hit 20 targets. So we're still doing the math as if you're hitting 20 targets, but the math is as if you hit 6 targets, if that makes sense. Now the problem is with Divine Star, if you hit 10 targets, it's a whole nother equation, which I just didn't feel like doing. So, and it's just, it's like a little bit less, but it's almost not even worth talking about. It's like, maybe I'll show you guys. Okay. So it goes something like this, and it changes per spell. So it's a little different in each one, but it might be something like this. Up to 5 targets, you receive, let's say the spell hits for 100, 5 targets, you get your normal scaling. Okay. After the 5 targets, each additional number past that gets what's called square root scaling. So let's say you've hit 10 targets. Well, you went 5 past your maximum. Shame on you. Well, you take 5, you square root it, and that 5 is treated as if it was only 2.2 targets. But let's go for broke, and let's go 20. 20 square rooted is only 4.47. If you were maxed at 5 and you hit 20 targets, you went 15 over your maximum, so square rooted would be 3.8. Oh, look. 3.8 plus 5 is 8.8. I guess it's technically kind of a little bit closer to 3.9, so I could have gone 8.9, but yeah. I think it's probably better to err on the side of the lower amount. And again, guys, I think that this is mostly guesswork and by some members in the community. But yeah, so after you factor in these things, then there is a little bit of inconsistencies with the video I put out before and the data. Because now it means that after everything gets filtered down and the numbers finally get polished and done, Holy Nova is not broken at all, and it's almost never worth casting. So even if you're fully 20-man stacked and you hit 3 enemies, it's not really that good. Sad to say. I mean, it's okay, but it's not like actually worth casting. So there goes one spell from your like 5 spell list that you're able to cast. Now we're really down to like the 1 button healer. But also Nova and Divine Star got hit pretty hard. Halo. So let's look at Divine Star, and then let's look at Halo. So here's Divine Star. So the Divine Star is still doing pretty decent. Still hits pretty hard and has pretty good efficiency. And Halo is still okay at like 545, but they're not like the juggernauts they were before. This means, guys, that a palm with Benediction, because in that talent row is Halo, Divine Star, and Benediction. That Benediction is kind of okay if you wanted to pick it and actually cast some palms. I haven't like fully done the math to like really see how like they pan out HPS wise. It basically would be something like figuring out, like, we know that every 1% mana that you spend needs to do 320, 22 healing to be worth it. I literally had it written down here. It's just a shaman paper. I'm mixing up my papers now. It's at the end of this. Let's see. I have 2 of these open. It's 327, basically 328% coefficient. So these things aren't like much more. They aren't actually like too worth it, right? Like if you cast Divine Star, this is 2% of your mana. So it needs to do 600 and basically 60 to break even, and it does a little bit over that. So it is worth casting. Actually, I don't think Halo is worth casting at all, actually. Now that I'm looking at it. 2.7. Let's bust the old calculator out, shall we? 2.7 times the lovely 32.7.99. It would need to do this much healing or have this much efficiency, I guess. Oh, I mean, it does that much healing. Yeah, I mean, it's still... I'm getting my numbers mixed up now that I'm thinking about it. I have to spend a long time to like really do this. Okay. Anyways, I can math it out, but basically it means that you actually have a choice now in that row. You can actually pick Benediction. Now, remember the numbers in the document assume like all the best things, right? So for Prayer of Mending, it assumes that you have the Conduit, which you won't have. It also assumes that you have the T1 talent that increases your healing by 10% on a target with Renew, which you probably won't have. So both of these numbers need to be reduced by around 10%. This one needs to get reduced by about 11%. This one needs to be reduced by 10% if you were going to play this build. Or the gain from this, right? So I guess in theory we could do that, right? So 309 minus 11%. So the actual Prayer of Mending healing is somewhere around 275. Then the gain from this was about 210. So 210 minus 10%, about 189. Let me make sure that's actually right. No, actually, it wasn't factored in. So it's you would get the full 210. All right. I don't know. Anyways, I know already that it's an okay spell to cast. With Benediction now. So if you guys want to mix it up and cast a palm every 12 seconds, take Benediction. If you feel like pushing Divine Star, if it's a good stacking fight, take Divine Star. And if you're super lazy and you don't really want to have to think, and everybody's kind of like loosely spread but still like clumped, and there's like good damage moments, then take Halo. I actually think they kind of have their place now. Yeah. Guess that's the video. This also means that the Legendary is a little bit better. Where is it at? Harmonious Apparatus. It's like you might be able to actually like do okay with it, but I don't think it's gonna be like it would change the playstyle, but not really be too much of an HPS increase. So the lines between these two get blurred a little bit, but the problem is the build just simply isn't playable without the reduced cast time to heal. So it's like I can't think of a world where you're not casting heal 1 second faster to pull this build off, and I think that's the issue, right? So if you were to take Harmonious Apparatus, then you would have to be probably Circle of Healing and palming and doing all kinds of other things, and that'd just be basically a whole different build. And I don't think it would pump nearly the same number of HPS personally. Over the course of a 6-minute fight, like the efficiency would be way less. You probably do have higher HPS spikes, maybe be able to handle certain damage patterns better, but definitely not better efficiency and definitely not better raw HPS overall. So, okay, there's my mistake. I've been cleansed of my sins, guys. Square root scaling. Who'd have thunk? Going forward, I'm going to try to figure out if things have square root scaling in them. I feel like these were the main culprits. Now, I'm trying to think of all the rest of the healers, and I think they're very particular on like how they heal. And there's not like AoE, but there might be some. Maybe like some things with Monk, maybe like Chi Burst. You know, I bet Chi Burst has square root scaling, so I'll just have to keep asking, people I know, try to do my own test. I wish I had a raid full of test dummies in Shadow in the beta, so I could like test all the spells to make sure they're doing their proper amount per target, and there's not like all these secret hidden clump exponential square root value fucking checks that Blizzard has put into the game. It makes theory crafting almost impossible. Yeah. All right. I'm fucking. Thanks for watching.